those people who didn't hear me out, Kyra Lacey's currently facing charges of negligent homicide after a deadly crash. According to reports, his victim was a Marine vet.
Bro, oh my God, gang. You go to LSU. You're going to the league. Like, it's literally impossible for you not to make it to the league. At least a year in the league. Alright, man, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video. And today, we finna go ahead and get into another one for y'all boys, man. The Epidemic of Gifted YNs. Now, somebody gotta say it. This shit is getting too out of hand. It's getting too advanced. I can't lie to you, bro. The shit that niggas is starting to do and get away with, unheard of. But, nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Let's do it. What the hell? These niggas barking and shit. Did he just tell a nigga?
So you mean to tell me that we got grown men, someone's son, father, husband, getting walked like dogs in prison, and these YNs are still catching bodies like it's just another day?
Did he just said like they call for dogs for real? And these dumbass, like, I can't call them dummies. They probably scared as hell. Whatever they did to go to prison, you was not like that. But I wish nigga would try to tie a thing around my neck like a leash. Y'all send her back 400 years, man.
You could be
That's
space
crazy.
monster. I'm sucking your ass out. We going in here. And I ain't giving no nigga pass. So don't give me no pass, because I ain't giving you no pass in here.
Fighting while you're naked?
Man, that's some West Side folks that get right up on him. Boom, bam on the dead homies. I'll whoop him, knock him out naked, dead homies. Off the back. It don't matter where you at in that off the back, I'm getting cracking. I'll over in the shower. Boom.
So you mean to tell me that we got guys who are 6'4" and up, 250 pounds and up like this dude 4 extra, and these YNs are still catching bodies in broad daylight, sometimes not
but
even
you gotta think about it, bro. They don't think that far. Everybody think, oh, I'm not gonna get caught. That's how everybody think, bro. Until they see their face on the news or the police pull up on them with that warrant. And they tell them, you're being charged with homicide. They don't think that far, bro. That's the problem with this YN, this hood, quote unquote, mentality, bro. Niggas ain't thinking the next week. They thinking about what I can do to get through the day. What can I do to make my name get hot? What do I gotta do in the streets to get my name hot so that I can start a rap career? Like, this shit, wow.
Like the only thing they'll have in prison won't be their hands and maybe a sharpened toothbrush. You won't have that switch when this Avenger level threat, Thanos looking, been lifting for the past decade looking motherfucker comes after you.
If someone's curious, how do you turn someone out in prison?
Honestly, if I spot one that I think, hey, he's fresh, he's a virgin, I want that ass right there. His butt. I said, I got him. What kind of kiss was that? We kissing again, we kissing. And I'm hard, man. I just know it, boy. I've been waiting 5 months for this, man. I ain't masturbated to touch myself. My balls is heavy. I clam this. I kissed it. I love you so much. All that was in his butt. I pulled it out. That's what it sounded like. Juicy. I'm squeezing his breast. Then he called his chest. His breast, man. Name chest, his breast. You're a woman now. My woman. I got to get you off. You know, what level would I be if I can't get my woman off? So I'm telling you young guys this. I love you. I do. When I was locked up, I loved you, man. When you come in, hey, bro, who you shot?
Bro, the thing about it is, why is he so excited? Why? He can't even get out a full sentence without smiling and reminiscing about taking somebody's manhood. This, I ain't gonna cap, gang. This is enough for me to be like, never. Like, I ain't even finna go to county jail, let alone prison. A nigga like this, old ass man sitting there and I'm waiting on you. Talking about I've been waiting 5 months. But if you don't get the fuck on, I'm talking about first day in, I need me a shank. Like, I'm going in there like, hey man, look, try into that funny shit if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Somebody leaving in the body bag. Like, what, bro? What?
I'm getting ready to shoot you.
The more the story. You better not go to prison.
Don't go to prison, boy.
Hey, we out.
You mean to tell me that these YNs are still
I ain't
risking
gonna
their...
count. Whoever that interviewee is, gang, get up out of there, bro. Get up out of there. He own that. Look at this laugh.
Don't go to prison.
Don't go to prison, boy.
Hey, we out.
You mean to tell me that these YNs are still risking their freedom when you got these booty bandit, ass muncher gremlins like this guy behind bars? I want you to imagine your cellmate trying to kill you over your booty. That sounds crazy to even say, but that's the reality.
One kid that he was on the toilet, he was shitting, and dude came in there with a knife and said, "Turn around, don't even wipe."
It's dudes in there crashing out over the
Gang, what? Gang, what? Stab me up. I ain't lying. Stab me the fuck up, gang. I ain't gonna lie. If you no wait, cause then if you die, these niggas be weird. Oh my god, there's no winning in this situation.
And that's not even far-fetched, because some of these guys are serving life sentences. They got nothing to lose. I mean, this guy dedicated his whole prison career towards going after YNs. He damn near got a PhD in freakiology. Dude legit might be worse than Diddy.
Charged as an adult in certain crimes, that the gravity was hitting him. A grand jury indictment that could come in the near future. Judge told him that he would not be seeing freedom anytime soon.
Court may impose a hold without bond. Court finds.
But you want to know what's so crazy to me though? If everybody is innocent until proven guilty, how can they say that you don't get bond? Even if it's a high ass bond, they like $1 million. What the fuck? Piece of hair in my mouth. Excuse me, y'all. But even if it's like your bond $1 million, like how can they say you get no bond? That's the thing that I don't understand.
Fishing allegations to support the charges. Considering the relevant charges, he is ordered held without bond.
This moment is tough to watch, but it was something that Zaquavius
It ain't
Dawkins'
tough to
family
watch.
says they needed to be here for. Simpson accused of killing Dawkins Sunday night along Chester Street. Simpson also accused with attempted first-degree murder involving another victim.
And you know, at one point before
Yeah,
reality had
he
set in
killing
and he
niggas.
realized that
Yeah,
he took
come
someone's
with it.
family member and, you know, he started breaking down, I bet you he thought he was hot shit. He thought that just like every other...
But this is the thing that I feel like I don't really understand as far as, you know what I'm saying, the new generation, quote unquote, right? We know jail and death come with the streets, right? But when you go to jail, why the fuck do niggas be sitting right there crying and shit? Like, I never understood that. You out here, you the quote unquote biggest op. You the most hated in your city. You done killed 3 niggas. They come pick you up for a parking ticket, you in that bitch crying. Like, is you scared of what you gonna run into? Is you scared of like the reality of like, bro, I might never be coming home? Like, what is it that makes these niggas be like the most savage nigga on earth and then straight bitch as soon as they get, you know what I'm saying? As soon as the judge come, they just come into a straight bitch.
Lion out here, he was untouchable, whether by the law or his ops, he was just above it all. But you see, you only have that impulsiveness, that crash out mentality, that I'm gonna do whatever I want to whoever I want, consequences be damned mentality. When you're in that moment and the adrenaline is rushing, when you're on that high, or like a lot of these YNs, you're on some sort of drug numbing your emotions. But see, that adrenaline, those pills, you won't have those when you're in the courtroom. When you're in that cell, you won't have those. It's just gonna be you and your thoughts. And see, I've made a bunch of videos covering the epidemic of YNs. And I honestly feel like if watching this video, especially the story I'm about to tell you, doesn't motivate you to change your life, you might be a lost cause. Meet 17-year-old high school student athlete Noah Scurry, an academically gifted kid who had the highest SAT score at his school. A kid who was described in the best light by adults and his peers.
But the thing about it is, everybody act like these folk don't go home and be who they really are. Like, you only a few people will ever really know who you are, right? I'm talking about they done seen you when you mad, happy, sad, glad, whatever. The people who see you at work, they kind of have an image of you that they think you are. The people at school, they kind of have an image of who you think they are. But your real close friends and family, they be like, man, that ain't even him. Like, he ain't gonna do nothing like that. But I bet you this, his mama knew. His mama knew how he was moving, how he was living. Whether y'all want to like it or not, bro, she knew that her son was out here doing what he was doing. Carrying guns and this, that, and the third. Shooting niggas.
Was exceptional. He scored remarkably high on his SATs. The star basketball player on the team here.
When you saw him around, like, you knew he brought good energy to everybody.
He was really smart, too. Whenever he entered a room, the room always lit. You know, it was always a smile on somebody's face when they were around them. It's so sad to think that he died.
Brief intermission. I'm trying to get to 100K subs, so I'd appreciate if you like, and follow me on Instagram. And great athlete. There were even rumors that he was getting looks from D1 schools. Noah lived a superhero life. well, I guess in this case, super villain. During the day, he'd go to his classes and obviously excel. He'd hang out with his friends when he got the chance. And then after school, he'd go to basketball practice. But see, after clocking out from school in the basketball court, Noah would clock into the streets. Noah's street name was OTV Joker. And just like the Joker, Noah was a menace. Think of guys like King Von and Bloodhound Jeff. Yeah, he's cut from their cloth. He wasn't only going around whooping on his ops, but he allegedly caught 5 bodies. One of them allegedly being Gilly the Kid's son, Young Cheese. I'm honestly just shocked at how he was able to juggle street life and be an academic weapon at the same time. This is an Instagram story of Noah whooping on his ops, caption, "Don't come around me claiming that fast break shit." Fast break being one of OTV's rivals, aka ops.
Fast break also people who knocked off why did you do it?
His face is good.
It's crazy to think how desensitized some of these kids have become to be able to do some of these things and then just carry on going to school like life is normal. I was having a conversation with a friend and we talked about how when people use guns to commit murder, it allows them to be disconnected from that murder. A lot of times these guys are doing drive-bys and shooting from afar, all while taking drugs like perks to numb their emotions. So they're not really fully experiencing the cruel, grotesque nature of murder. For example, imagine shooting someone from several feet away.
Like, not to mention that these folks don't know how to shoot, but I really do feel like these people like that come on the block, that come on the corner, they'll see somebody that they want to shoot at and just close their eyes and shoot in that direction. And that's how so many, you know what I'm saying, random people be getting hit because they can't shoot and they shoot with their eye closed.
Compared to stabbing them with a knife and having to stab them multiple times. That requires a different level of mental fortitude. That's something that would legit leave you with some next level PTSD. Now compare that to pulling the trigger while sitting in a car and then driving away, or pulling the trigger from a distance. Like, yes, you'll probably see the body drop, but that's probably as far as it'll get. After that, these kids are able to go home and probably see what they did on the news. And see, just like Noah's victims, Noah's actions eventually caught up to him and he became someone else's victim. After dropping this diss track with the rest of the OTV crew, tragedy would befall Noah.
Hey, Lambda. I'm thirsty to swing that door. Talking about bees and I'm up like 4. Forever going on to the cold, can't break, won't fold, nigga, that's how I go. 15 going on hits, start popping them perks, nigga, that's how I turn to a goblin.
And I want y'all to notice how he said 15 going on hits, popping them perks, that's how I turn to a goblin. Remember earlier how I said these YNs will use these drugs to kind of numb their emotions to be able to commit these heinous acts? The drugs allow them to do a lot of the things that they do, because for any normal human in their standard mental state, they can't commit these type of crimes. Humans have too many mental and societal deterrents preventing them from committing such acts. But with these new age drugs, you can legit silence your better judgment. But see, the downside is if you're not mentally ill or some sort of serial killer, you need to perpetually take these drugs to deal with the PTSD and cope with the actions that you've committed. Even known killer King Von was on meth when he died.
No cap for my rap.
What?
You gonna need another headshot count on my
No. He probably wasn't on meth. It was probably something that he was on that had meth in it. He on that would have just thrown me all the way off. Ain't no way. I couldn't even picture King Von sitting down doing meth, bro. Like, it had to be some metaphine. Oh no.
And it never made sense to me how these rappers will get on a track and basically self-incriminate. They'll talk about how many bodies they have and they'll give these hints and detailed descriptions about how they killed someone. I know the FBI and CIA are probably more excited than anyone else when these rappers drop new music, because they're big.
Yes and no, because some states and cities and this, that, and the third, they can't use your lyrics against you. Now Philly, I know they can. They're trying to do it to hop out Blick, but that's what rap and hip hop is being based off of in the United States. It's about being real. Versus you go overseas, I fuck with his music, but like a Central C, that nigga ain't never did nothing to nobody. You feel what I'm saying? But he adopted the character of a trapper, of a hard street guy who had to do what he had to do to get to where he at today. You feel me? So. But here we want to see realness. We want to see somebody. We want to see real killers and real dope boys. We don't care about the repercussions that come with them living that lifestyle. We want to hear people who really doing what they doing. That's why King Von was such an enigma, Because you could hear the stories about a King Von where he going and he doing this and the bodies he really caught. And it pulls you in. You're interested. You want to really know what's going on because 99.9% of people don't got it in them to kill nobody. Point blank, period. You could be standing over them and they can have a gun and point it right at you and they ain't going to pull the trigger because they don't want to kill you, bro. It's just not in most people. But with that being said, that's why it's such a big thing.
Basically doing their job for them. But back to Noah Scurry. See, after making a YouTube channel just to drop this diss track, the next morning as he's getting in the car, about to be driven to school by his mom, one of his ops runs up and he gets fatally shot.
A teenager is gunned down in an alleyway behind his home. Noah Scurry is being remembered for his performance both in the classroom and on the basketball court. Games have now been canceled for the rest of the week as the school community mourns his death.
Once again, Noah Scurry was only 17 years old. Anyone with further information is asked to contact the police.
And one of the things I really hate about this situation is that even though he knew he had enemies and people who were coming after his life, he was still hanging around his mom. He was putting her in harm's way just by letting her be around him. And just like Noah was making diss tracks about the people that he's killed, his ops also made diss tracks when he was murdered.
I'm like, what? Did what Big Man couldn't doing this, put the Joker down. Baby Joker this, with the jokes is over now. He got flame bullets burning his
This shit was ass, but
and what was
cool,
Noah's
like,
reward for catching these bodies and hurting all these people just to impress other misguided kids? His reward was a couple IG story posts and some of his crewmates saying that certain people didn't kill him, along with basically saying that they're gonna commit more crimes and more murders to avenge him, continuing the cycle. On top of that, Noah kind of just jump-started his friend's career because ever since he passed away, the video has been gaining traction. It's sitting at 1 million views right now in 2 weeks. And his friend who you saw in the music video made a song called Joker 8 days ago, which right now is sitting at 47,000 views. And I bet you the views are only gonna keep going up because controversy sells. This might be the birth of a whole new Philly drill scene, just like we saw back in the day in Chicago.
Philly drill is dead, bro. D.A. Kramer or Kragner, whatever the fuck that nigga name is, he giving y'all niggas the belt. I'm talking about Rico after Rico, life sentence after life sentence, 40, 50 years. These niggas getting caught jaywalking. They part of a gang. They getting 60. The DA in Philly is not playing. If the DA, if all these major cities that's having these little drill waves, I hate to say it, Atlanta, Chicago, Jacksonville had DAs like Philly, a lot of this shit would be raps, gang. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of this shit would be raps.
When rappers would talk about killing and then people would end up dead, and that whole controversy would lead to more views and streams. In one of my past videos, I made the argument that you can always change your life around and that your actions determine your fate. I truly and genuinely believe that a majority of people who are in street life don't have to be a part of it, and even if they're presently in it, they can make the active choice to go
always
past
two
it,
choices,
because otherwise it comes with some pretty grave consequences. A perfect example is Kyron Lacey, someone who's constantly acting like a YN even though he attends a D1 football college program and he's a star player. These are some of the things that I said about people who fit his archetype before people started getting mad in the comments. There's so many people who wish they had the opportunity to even experience one day in his life, and I already know someone's gonna come in my comments talking about, oh, some of us actually did grow up in that environment. Some of these dudes are actually street dudes. And to those people, I just want to tell you, I don't care. If God blessed you with the opportunity to go D1 and possibly get the chance to go to the NFL, at some point you got to learn how to grow out of that hood mentality. Now, I'm not saying lose touch with who you are and where you come from, but you definitely got to start carrying yourself differently. And this is strictly my opinion, but college football players, especially D1 college football players, the ones who get most of the publicity, the ones that get the NIL deals, you know, the ones who have little kids watching them, probably obsessed with them, need to not be doing these little YN stunts, acting like they're Swiss cheesing someone, not having decorum on the field. Because let's be,
because that reminds me of the Alabama player. I forgot his name. I think Riggs, but he was trying to live that young, fast YN lifestyle, driving his Corvette or whatever sports car he had. Just got to the league, crashed it, hit somebody, killed somebody. Now he's serving all them years in jail. Because you wanted to be something that you're not. Like, I never really understood the fascination with being something that you're not. Because most people who are in this shit do it out of necessity, and the others do it just trying to follow shit. Like, nigga, you ain't never been in a shootout. You ain't never even shot a gun. The fuck is you doing? I know it's he hype, he turned up, but god damn.
Bro, once you make it to that D1 status, especially if you're performing well, your life becomes too high profile for you to even consider living that type of lifestyle. After posting that video, people who know nothing about my personal life came in the comments and said, you know nothing about street life. And they basically made the argument that a lot of people are born into this lifestyle, which may be true, but that doesn't mean you can't change.
It's very rare. You got to think about it like this. Nigga, out of everybody, bro, if Big Meech, now obviously Big Meech had the money, this, that, and the third, it was put up for his kids and this, that, and the third. Like, Lil Meech, he had a decent life from what we can tell. He could have been born into it. You feel me? But it's your choices along with your parents' choices. It's very rare. Now, it's some people who are just, like, your parents was just a menace. Like, the niggas around, like, the niggas who, they want him so bad, they'll catch him, your son, and they'll do it to him. You know what I'm saying? There are some people like that with backgrounds like that. But for the most part, my nigga, this is all personal choice, bro. You did not have to drop out of high school. You chose to drop out of high school. You chose to hang with them niggas who you know gang banging. Those was your friends. You didn't want to hang out with the basketball players. You thought that shit was lame. You wanted to hang out with the niggas who was shooting shit. Now you got niggas who trying to shoot at you. And now you can't go to school. Or you gotta move. You feel what I'm saying?
And like, for all those people who didn't hear me out, Kyra Lacey is currently facing charges of negligent homicide after a deadly crash. According to reports, his victim was a Marine vet.
Bro, oh my God, gang. You went from, bro, I ain't gonna lie. And the biggest thing about all this shit is that it's just a disappointment. Like, nigga, you're literally in college starting as a wide receiver at one of the biggest D1 colleges in the fucking country. You go to LSU. You're going to the league. Like, it's literally impossible for you not to make it to the league. At least a year in the league. Get that first big year, get that first big check and do what you got to do. But now you fucked up in college. One step away. One step away, you fucked up in college. Now, if you go to prison, you're done. And even if you don't, it's going to be very few teams that are going to want to draft you just because of what happened to this.
Lacey was allegedly driving a 2023 Dodge Charger on Louisiana Highway 20 and recklessly passed multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed by crossing the center line and entering the northbound lane while in a designated no passing zone. So dude was speeding in a Dodge Charger and driving recklessly. Now, I'm not trying to play into stereotypes, but that's something that most YNs do. And I hope no one thinks that I'm trying to use this as a I told you so type of moment, because this is genuinely sad. Dude had a bright future ahead of him. But one thing I did realize, however, is that no matter what type of background these guys come from, they'll end up going down the path of a YN if that's what they resolve to do. A perfect example of that is 4Extra. Although he's a renowned gangbanger now, he admitted to coming from a two-parent household with parents who worked good jobs. On top of that, his father strongly advised them against street life.
I started off young, 11. Off the back, I'm born and raised in the hood.
Okay.
Between on Western Virginia.
But that's a difference though. You got somebody who this is their environment, they're more than likely gonna fall into it versus somebody who's never been around it. They never had nothing happen to them. They grew up in a fucking $500,000 house. Mama drive a Benz, pops drive a Beamer. Like, that's a difference versus two working class parents who are probably never home. And you're growing up in the middle of the trenches. That's a difference.
I'm born and raised in the set, in the 40s, South Central, off the back, whole family from the set.
And did you have anybody trying to keep you away from this life?
Hell yeah, my dad. My dad and my mom. But my dad for sure. He for sure, he was tripping, you know.
But he was from the same hood?
No, my dad don't bang.
He wasn't, okay.
No, hell no, he went to school, graduated and all that, you know what I'm talking about, been to the Army. You know what I'm talking about, he believe in, you know, education is the key.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't believe in the gang stuff. You know what I'm saying? My pops was hot when he found out. My pops found out when I was 12 though. He found out when I was going to school at Horseman. The principal called him in here. She like, your son bang. He like, my son don't bang. He like, your son do bang. He like, man, look at the tattoo on his back. And when he seen the photo on my back, he went up.
Although 4Extra was surrounded by street life in his neighborhood, he had a real life example within his household that he didn't have to go down that path. And although I am a strong believer that every human has the right to make their own decisions, these are some of the consequences of those decisions.
Shit, I was in it. I went to jail at 12 anyway. Attempted murder with my homie. Juvenile life. I stayed in there from 12 all the way up to 16. And they found us not guilty. On a sudden, they kicked us out. When I got out at 16, I came right back, like shit, 8 months later for a blower.
So yes, your environment can definitely influence you. But for people to think that your environment makes you 100% of who you are is flawed thinking. It just takes more strength of character to not let yourself get sucked into that cycle.
You gotta think about it too though. Like, this is when it comes to like, okay, boom, he going down the wrong path. You need two things. You need sports. You need to keep an eye on him 24/7. Y'all need like sports, extracurricular activities. Y'all need to keep him just off of the street. Keep him just from hanging out in the neighborhood, and make sure y'all surround him with different friends. And sometimes, bro, you even gotta move, bro. I'm gonna just keep it a bean. But it's more likely that they'll try to take the risk and try to like, steer him down the right path, than just like get up and move because they feel like he's going down the wrong path.
So yes, your environment can definitely influence you, but for people to think that your environment decides 100% of who you are is flawed thinking. But for people to think that your environment decides 100% of who you are and who you become is flawed thinking. It just takes more strength of character to not let yourself get sucked into that cycle.
That's why these writers kept written by himself, written by herself, Phyllis Wheatley, Frederick, because they thought Negroes couldn't read and write. They thought Negroes didn't have the capacity to read and write, and yet they made all the laws to stop us from learning how to do what? Read and write. If we can't read and write, what you trying so hard to stop us for? And the answer is because America has always known what you are. America has always known who you are. America has understood what you're capable of, and they will make you think you ain't nothing at the same time that they exploit your gifts. They'll tell you you lazy and make you a slave. They'll tell you you dirty and have you clean their house. They'll tell you you uncivilized, and we raise their children. They know who you are.
I ain't gonna lie,
but it's time that you listen to who you are. That you understand who you are.
If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on.
Okay, so that's gonna be the end of that video. Is it? Yeah. So make sure y'all boys like, comment, and subscribe. I ain't gonna lie, he got good points. You feel me? It's not too much I disagree with, but like I said, it's just with the having a father figure in the house. That's a great step. More than what was it, like 60% or something like that? Inner city household, 60 to 75% is a single parent household. So he was one of the ones who was lucky and shouldn't be the way he is. But when your parents is gone and you hanging out with the wrong crowd and you influenced by what's going on outside, it's gonna change you. It's gonna change you for sure. So like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Key checking out. We gone.